So in video 2 we're going to be creating RAS layers. The first one we're going to be creating is the river center line. We're going to be drawing it with respect to drawing it down in the downstream direction. So we're going to click on RAS layers, stream center line, click OK. And what this is going to do is going to create a template for creating your stream center line, river. So click river, and then we're going to click the line construction tool, and then we're going to just digitize this center line, and when you completed, you double click and then you save edits, and then that completes the river center line. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing with bank lines. So you're going to click on RAS geometry, create RAS layers, bank lines, click OK. So what this is going to do is going to create a layer for your banks. So start editing and select the banks, but the only difference now is you see that there's not one that exists for the bank. So we're going to click the second icon to the right within the create features box. This is going to give you an option to add this as a template. So you click new template, then make sure that that banks box there is selected. So you click close, and now you see it appears. Then you click line for the construction tool, and you're going to digitize your banks now. So when you come to a close here, you're going to save edits, and then you're going to stop editing. Now the next one we're going to create is the flow path center lines. This is done exactly the same way. So you click RAS geometry, RAS layers, flow path center lines. And now notice that you can designate that center line that you created for the river as the flow path for the center. So you of course want to do that so you don't have to repeat a line or trace the line to create a flow path for the center of the creek. So just as you did before, you want to click the flow paths geodatabase, click OK, and then the same thing applies to create a new template for this flow path. So the second icon to the right within the create features toolbox, you will need to add the flow path template. Be sure that its checkbox is selected, and then you'll notice that it appears. So within construction tools you would also use the line, and you want to draw in the downstream direction just as you drew the river, and this is going to be the center of the active flow in the overbanks. So you can see that I'm drawing these in the overbanks, and in the location where the flooding would occur, or the overbank flow would be occurring in the overbanks. So upon conclusion, we're going to save edits and then stop editing. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create our hydraulic cross sections. So the same way you've done before, you create RAS layers, and you're going to create cross section cut lines. So I'm sure, as you know, when you're drawing your cross sections, you're going to draw them with respect to looking downstream left to right. So you would begin with your leftmost part on your cross sections, and then draw in the right direction, looking downstream. So if everything applies as your hydraulic concepts have been so far with respect to drawing cross sections in parts of the reach that are of particular interest and of the particular interval that you need. So I'm just going to continue digitizing all of the cross sections here. Each cross section is completed with a double click. So upon completion here, you're going to want to click the tips and the ends of the flow paths, and then you've completed the cross sections. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to create all of the blocked obstructions that exist for the reach. And this particular reach, I'm going to be using the aerial photograph behind the cross sections to locate where the structures and the buildings are. And then we're going to basically create a template for those buildings and then draw polygons around those to locate where they are. You can actually use whatever method you see fit to locate where your structures are, whether they're located inside of a base map or whether they're located within a survey sketch, something you can reference in. But in this particular example, as you see, I'm just sketching them in with respect to the aerial photography that's behind our cross sections. So to complete your edits, as we've done before, we're going to save edits and then click stop editing. So the next thing we're going to create is their ineffective flow area polygons. So these areas are areas of the reach where there is inactive flow. So on each side of the bridge, there's going to be areas of the cross section that we're going to have to tell HEC-RAS that there's inactive flow or there's flow not occurring in these locations. So the way you do that is just the same way we've created all these layers before, and we're going to create a new template here, and then we're going to check the box for ineffective flow area. Now, just as we did for the block obstruction, we're going to click polygon for the construction tool, and then given what our assumptions are for expansion and contraction, we're going to draw our ineffective flow areas. As you can see here, I'm just giving a rough entrance contraction expansion ratio. Now we can draw these exactly in the CAD drawing and then reference them in so that we can assume an exact expansion and contraction ratio, so that it's more of a legit